Guys, what's going on? I have my 2008 Kia Sorento here in the shop, and we're getting ready to put rear brake pads and rotors.
We're going to start by taking the bolts off that hold the rotor on, two little cap screws here. We usually use the impact driver just so we don't strip them out. So we're going to take them out and put them on the side. We're going to put them back on the new one. And we have over here on the right, we have the cap for the adjustment for the, because this has brake shoes in there, emergency brake shoes. We're going to pop that out now. And we got a 14 millimeter for the caliper and for the bracket. So we're going to take this off right here. Now this one's turning. We're going to have to grab a wrench to stop this. Let me grab a 17.
Okay.
An 18 wrench. I got another one. All right. Yeah. So it's a 17, but our wrench is a little too thick to get on there. I'm gonna grab it some vice grips. Oh boy, that feels like that's gonna fucking break, bro. Trying the bottom one. Not really sure why it's so tight. It shouldn't have been that tight.
Yes.
The top one feels like it's gonna break. I hope it doesn't.
Yeah, you and me both. Get some penetrating oil.
Yeah, we'll put some on, but it ain't really gonna get in there.
Yeah.
But we shall try. If it just makes us feel better, that's okay. So if it snaps, we can say, well, hey, at least we put all right. Feel lucky, Tony?
No. Luck is never on my side. Come on. You try to go the other way with it.
Oh.
Why that's so tight?
Yeah. Okay. All right, we're going for all marbles here. See, this is what happens when you live in New England.
Yeah.
You people in California, this stuff will come right apart. Or Arizona, or any dry climates. Well, this is a Christmas miracle right there.
Jeez, oh my God. Surprised it didn't snap. Did it?
No.
Wow.
It's just dry. That's getting loaded with
Yeah,
never sees.
we'll never sees that.
Done squeezed them pretty tight.
All right.
Get this bottom one. I'm gonna spin that one out.
I can't even believe you got that out.
It's the penetrating oil, Tom.
Liquid courage.
We didn't put that on there. Well, I broke for sure. I'm going to peel the caliper back a little bit here. And trying to get into the piston because you want to get that piston out. Okay, and we're going to get either screwdriver or pry bar in here, and we want to collapse that piston. You can use the brake pad in between the rotor and the pad to finish collapsing the piston. Now Now Tony's getting a pulsation out of this, so he opted to do new pads and rotors. So the brake pads are still thick, you can see.
Yep.
But you know, he's getting a pulsation, so he bought a brake kit that had everything. So now the bolts for the caliper bracket are both 14s as well.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, everything's pretty dry.
That's wicked dry back there. Jesus. Kind of glad we peeled it apart.
Yeah. Take the brake bar off and the bracket, and we'll set that aside for right now.
Oh my God.
Now inside the rotor here, you have to turn this and you have to find the adjuster, the self-adjuster in there. Tony's got the light in there. That's probably on this side now. Okay,
There it is. I just saw
see it right there?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna smack the rotor, give it a little shock. But you've got adjustment on these brake shoes in here, okay? So we're gonna take our screwdriver. You're gonna go either way. I'm not sure. You never know which way you're gonna go. So say we go this way, and we start moving the adjusting star. And it's getting easier that way. So it's not, so now I feel the rotor is loose. So now it should come off now. So here's your self-adjuster. It's backed off completely right now. When we put the rotor back on, we need to put a little adjustment. This is for your emergency brake. We got to make sure that it has a little adjustment on it so that it's got a little drag to it. Not a lot, but just a little. So we're going to spray some penetrating oil in here because the shoes are nice and thick. And these shoes, you say, oh, they look thin, but you buy a brand new set, they're just as thin as these.
Yeah.
So we're going to spray that, never seize this, and put our new rotor on. So we got our rotor and we brake cleaned it on the inside and the outside. And these are positional. So this one says passenger rear. That's where it's going. We got to line up the holes for the screws right here. We never seized our hub like we always do. Okay, so I'm going to put the 2 screws back in right now.
So we get the cross-drilled and slotted rotors because we're going to enter the Enduro race at the track and take out our buddy Chris Moulton.
Yeah, he doesn't know it yet.
He doesn't know it.
He's number 15. We're all going up to support him this weekend, so it's going to be fun. Next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. All right, so we're putting a little anti-seize on these bolts so they're easy to get out next time.
Yeah.
Chili's in the
So
backyard
now-
with the brakes on.
So now we have to adjust this rotor. So we're going to line up that again. And okay, so we can see the self-adjuster there.
There it is.
So we went this way, so now we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna go until we completely tighten so that we can't move. You can hear it turning in there. We're just moving the star, and we're gonna go until it's completely tight, and then we're gonna back it off. So I know my shoes are gonna be seated in this rotor. Okay, so that's tight, and I can't move this now. So now if I back this off like 3 turns, 2, 3. I have just a little bit of drag on there. That's going to get you close. You know, so now your emergency brake is going to be good when you either, was it a pull cable in here? Or a foot pedal?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Oh, you haven't used it yet?
No, I haven't used it yet.
All right,
I
so
think
we're
it's a
gonna
both.
we're going to put our plug back in. Okay, and so our rotor's all clean and ready to go. We never seized this. We got our brake adjustment done, and we got our bolts back and hold the rotor on. We're going to go set up the brake pads on the brake bar and show you how we do that. So we just slipped our pads out, and I can roll these clips off. We've got our little file. Tony's got the wire brush set up here, and we have our little file out. Just going to clean this up. We're going to run the file across it. Trying to get any rust built up off here if there's any scaling or anything, because your brake clip sits on here, and if it's lifted up a little bit, it tightens on the brake pads, makes them hard to slide. All right, so we're going to file caliper bracket now, clean it up, make sure there's nothing on there. Okay, we got that.
Excuse me.
Okay, so we got some clips for this right here. Okay, we're trying to make sure it's flat and flush. Remember, we have to roll this little piece down in here to make it tight. And do the same on this one. Make sure it looks flat. Okay. Get our caliper pins lubed. I like to put a little blob on the boot so that when we force this in, it pushes it down to the bottom, and then it'll force its way back up. Just so that you get a little bit more in there. This gets very hot and grease breaks down. This is a synthetic grease that we're using, ceramic, and it's supposed to last longer, so I guess we'll see if that's the case. We got the caliper pins all lubed up. Push them in. Okay, got a little extra out there. Smear it on here. Now we're gonna put some on our brake clips so that we can get our brake pads to slide in here nice. Okay, so our brake pads have, one of them has a clip on it, and that would be this one, and this one goes on the inside where the caliper pins are. Okay, and they're moving pretty nice in here. You're trying not to get any grease on there, if you can. These actually roll in really easy. Okay, so we've got our setup here, and we're going to go over and slip this on. We've got our bolts for the caliper bracket already never seized. Our bolts for these caliper pins already never seized. So we're gonna go slip this thing together right now. We've got our clip in here for our wear bar tab, so when the brake pads get thin. All right, so we're gonna slip our caliper bracket on and hold our brake shoes, brake pads together. We've got our 14 millimeter bolts here for this one. Okay, tighten these up. I like to hold the brake pads just so they don't pop out on me. Okay, that's tight. Now on our caliper, we've got the piston collapsed already, and we're gonna wanna put a little bit of that slide material that we have for our caliper pins, lubricate our boot, make sure the boot's lubed. It's gonna last longer. We put a little bit on the back side here that goes up against the brake pad right here. Okay. Okay, slip this on.
We never see those, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we filled the inside of the cavity of the caliper pin with penetrating oil, and even though we never sees it, it's going a little slow, but we've been working it back and forth. And okay, that was tight.
Okay.
Of course, it tightens on my wrench. We need a really thin wrench to get in here.
See the cheap freaking wrench though.
Yeah. This is an old Craftsman. It's probably older than the both of us. Roland gave it to me.
That'd be my dad. He's 82.
Yeah.
That's how old that wrench probably is.
Yeah.
Could put a freaking dump truck on that thing, it won't break.
All right. Nuts.
It's probably the wrench that put Sears out of business.
Probably. So we get the brake caliper back on, everything's tightened back up, and it'd be the same procedure on the other side.